In the heart of Portland's Pearl District, where the aroma of artisanal coffee mingled with the clink of wine glasses, a single act of cruelty at the chic Ember and Oak Bistro would spark a reckoning that no one saw coming. Marcus Tate, a homeless man with a past as rich as the city's skyline, stepped into the warmth of the restaurant seeking a moment of respite only to be met with cold rejection. But the streets have a way of turning the tables, and what began as a dismissal would end in a revelation that would shake the bistro's polished facade to its core. The evening of July 16, 2025, draped Portland's Pearl District in a soft drizzle, the neon lights of Ember and Oak Bistro glowing like a beacon through the rain. Inside, the restaurant buzzed with the chatter of well-dressed patrons savoring plates of seared scallops and artisanal cocktails. The air was thick with the scent of rosemary and melted butter, and a jazz trio played softly in the corner. Marcus Tate, a 52-year-old man with a weathered face and a tattered coat, pushed open the heavy glass door, the bell jingling faintly. His gray beard was flecked with rain, and his boots left damp prints on the polished floor. Once a respected chef in Portland's culinary scene, Marcus had fallen on hard times after a restaurant fire and a battle with addiction left him homeless. Tonight, clutching a crumpled $10 bill earned from selling sketches outside a coffee shop, he hoped for a hot meal to ease the chill in his bones. At the hostess stand, a young woman named Chloe, her hair in a sleek ponytail, looked up with a practiced smile that vanished as she took in Marcus's appearance. "Can I help?" "You?" she asked, her tone clipped, her eyes flicking to the diners watching curiously. "I'd like a table," Marcus said, his voice rough but polite. "Just something small, I've got money." He held up the bill, his hand trembling slightly. From the cold, Chloe's lips pursed. "I'm sorry, sir, we're fully booked," she said, not glancing at her reservation tablet. "And, our dress code is pretty strict." Her voice carried, drawing smirks from a nearby couple. Marcus's shoulders sagged, but he held his ground. "I just want a bowl of soup, I can pay." His eyes, a faded blue, met hers with quiet dignity. Chloe sighed, glancing at the manager, Mr. Langley, who was hovering nearby. Langley, a wiry man in a tailored suit, strode over, his expression a mix of irritation and authority. "Sir, you need to leave," he said, his voice loud enough to hush the dining room. "This isn't a shelter. You're disturbing our guests." Marcus's jaw tightened, but he didn't argue. "Didn't mean to cause trouble," he said softly, turning toward the door. As he stepped back into the rain, a few diners snickered, and Chloe muttered, "Finally." The jazz trio played on, oblivious to the scene, outside. Marcus pulled his coat tighter, the rain soaking through the worn fabric. He shuffled toward a nearby alley, where he kept a small tarp and his sketchbook. As he settled against the wall, a young woman approached, her umbrella bobbing in the drizzle. Layla, a 25-year-old barista and aspiring journalist, had been at Ember and Oak, sipping coffee at the bar. She'd watched the exchange, her phone discreetly recording. "That wasn't right," Lila said, crouching beside Marcus. "You okay?" Marcus nodded, his hands clutching his sketchbook. "Used to it," he said, his voice hollow. "Just wanted a warm meal." Leila's eyes narrowed. "They can't treat people like that." "I got it on video. Mind if I share it?" Marcus hesitated, then shrugged. "Do what you want. Won't change much." That night, Lila posted the clip on X from her account at PDX Truth-Teller. The video showed Langley's harsh words and Chloe's dismissive smirk with the caption, "Ember and Oak Bistro kicks out homeless man for trying to buy soup. Is this who we are? #PortlandCares." By morning, the post had thousands of views, shared by local activists and picked up by a community news blog. Portland Pulse, Ember and Oak woke to a firestorm. Protesters gathered outside, holding signs reading "Food for All" and "End Discrimination." Customers canceled reservations, and the restaurant's X account was flooded with negative reviews. Langley issued a statement, "We regret any misunderstanding and are committed to inclusivity." But the apology felt hollow, especially when a second video surfaced, showing Chloe turning away another homeless person weeks earlier. Inside the bistro, Langley held an emergency staff meeting. Chloe, defensive, insisted she was just following policy. Langley, under pressure from the restaurant's corporate owners, suspended her pending a review, but the damage was done. The bistro's reputation, built on exclusivity, was unraveling. Lila, meanwhile, reached out to Marcus through a shelter contact. She found him at a soup kitchen, sketching a portrait of a volunteer. "Your story's going viral," she told him. "People want to help." Marcus shook his head. "I don't need pity. I just want a chance to get back on my feet." Lila's eyes lit up. "What if we got you that chance?" She connected Marcus with a local chef, Elena, who ran a community kitchen. Elena recognized Marcus's name from his days as a chef at a rival restaurant. "You're Marcus Tate?" she said, incredulous. "Your braised short ribs were legendary. Come work with us." Marcus hesitated but accepted Elena's offer, starting as a volunteer cook at the community kitchen. His skills, rusty but intact, shone through, and his dishes, simple stews, hearty soups, drew crowds. Layla's video continued to spread, inspiring donations to the kitchen, which funded a culinary training program for homeless residents, with Marcus as a mentor. Ember and Oak, facing a boycott, hired a new manager, Javier, who prioritized inclusivity. Javier reached out to Marcus, offering a public apology and a free meal. Marcus declined the meal but agreed to consult on a new community outreach program, ensuring the bistro welcomed all. Chloe, after completing sensitivity training, volunteered at the kitchen. Her perspective shifted by Marcus's quiet dignity. Months later, Marcus stood in the community kitchen, serving a line of residents his signature vegetable stew, the bistro. Now, under Javier's leadership, had a pay-what-you-can night with Marcus's recipes featured. Layla, now a staff writer at Portland Pulse, covered the event, her article titled "From Rejection to Redemption, a Homeless Chef's Triumph." Marcus never returned to Ember and Oak as a customer, but he didn't need to. The kitchen was his home now, his sketches adorning the walls, his food warming the bellies of those who'd once been turned away. In Portland's rain-soaked streets, where cruelty had once cast him out, Marcus found a new purpose, proving that compassion could rebuild what prejudice tore down.